what I want you to remember tonight is we are building stories, LinkedIn stories. The most important story, the story of you. And one thing that I wanted to say is, does everybody know, does everybody have the app downloaded on their phone? How many people? Okay, so what I like to do is, and we don't have to do it now, we can do it later or you can do it now. One thing that I do every time I go to a conference is I go to my LinkedIn app, I go down, right down to the bottom where the people, the icon for the people are at the bottom, and I hit it and I go to Find Nearby. Find Nearby. And what's going to happen is that if everybody puts on Find Nearby on their phones, what's going to happen is that you're going to see all of the people, including myself. So I will put mine on a little bit later as well. I'll remind everybody at the end, and then you can start connecting with everybody so that you don't lose the opportunity to create relationships right off the bat. Now, I told you earlier that one thing that I always talk about is connecting by sending a message, right? And I totally stand by that every step of the way. But because we are here tonight, and this Brampton Mastermind is bringing us together, then we already have a connection. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something a little different. We're going to connect, make sure we connect through Find Nearby, and then what we're going to do is go talk to people after. So this is when we're going to a conference, because what better way than we're all sitting here tonight, and we're all coming here because we want to hear more and learn more about LinkedIn. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the career story, the company page, and a little bit about authentic networking. If you want to ask me a question, or we can wait till the end, it's okay. But sometimes I like the fact that people can learn from each other. So we're going to create our stories tonight. And you might see that you're living in LinkedIn default, living a LinkedIn default life, but it's not for long. Because after tonight, you won't be living in LinkedIn default life anymore, and you'll be able to navigate and build your own story. Okay, so how many people know this guy?
Yeah.
Simon Sinek. So I really like Simon because I use LinkedIn a lot in conjunction with what he says, and that is find your why. So if you really want to benefit from LinkedIn, you should always take a look at your why and take a look at the goals that you want to achieve. So there are many reasons why you want to be on LinkedIn. Some people are going on LinkedIn because they want to get a job. Some people want to build their network. Some people want to brand themselves. Some people want to brand their business. Some people want to build their online footprint because you know that important people could be looking at it and trying to get to know you better. Social recognition, leadership. Maybe you want to get recognized as a blogger, and LinkedIn has the platform for you to do it. There are many reasons why LinkedIn is a tool that you want to know. So before we go any further, what I like to do is I like to talk about privacy settings, because as I mentioned earlier, I want it to be a CSI. So I love CSI work. I love it. I can't get enough of it. So on LinkedIn, I can actually be a CSI. I just go to my privacy settings, and so if you go to the dashboard and you go to me, it'll take you to privacy and settings, and then there are 4 areas that you can look at: your account, privacy, ads, and communication. Just for today, we're just going to go to the privacy settings. You're going to scroll down, and you're going to go to how others see your LinkedIn activity. And there's 2 things I'm going to point out. 1, profile viewing options, and 2, sharing profile edits. The rest you can look at on your own. I think everybody should go through all the privacy settings. But just remember to not make yourself too private, because the more private you are on LinkedIn, it will be more difficult for people to connect with you. And people nowadays, we still want that quick fix kind of thing. So if it becomes too much of an effort, we just give up and we don't do it. So you want to lessen that process. So here is profile viewing options. So for the profile viewing options, you can be anonymous, you can have just your title, or you can be you. So when I want to, if my profile is not up to par, and I don't want to use my profile to really, not yet, I don't want to get anybody to actually go to my profile yet because I'm not ready. I don't want them to judge me. I'm not ready. I go into anonymous. And I use the anonymous when I'm researching, because I research a lot. I like to find out about people. I went to a conference a couple of weeks ago. I made sure that I looked up everybody. I went to Atlanta. I made sure to look up everybody. Because first of all, it allowed me to, gave me lots to break the ice with. And it also allowed me to know people before I even got started. So really, really important. Now it takes 24 hours once you change back to you. So it takes 24 hours. So if you're anonymous and you're really enjoying the CSI stuff, but suddenly you're happy to go back to you, just remember you're going to need a 24-hour window to make that transition. Sharing profile edits. I keep mine off all the time just because I don't feel the need to tell everybody I changed my picture, I changed my picture, I changed my picture again, because I'm always playing around with my pictures and playing around with everything. So I just take that off because I don't feel like I need to bother anybody with that. But there are a lot. And LinkedIn, you should be constantly looking at your privacy settings because like any platform, they're constantly adding new things. So, and it's up to you to control it. Okay, your unique URL. So it's a simple thing, but a lot of people do not do it. They don't change their LinkedIn URL. So if you look at your LinkedIn profile, at the top, it will have your URL. And for many people, they leave the numbers at the end of their URL. This was just simply a URL that was given to you for LinkedIn purposes, with the whole intention for you to customize it. Some people like to customize it with the name of their business, but because this is your personal profile and you can build a company profile, you should have your name instead. It should be your full name. LinkedIn has extended the character count and make it your name. And then you sprinkle this URL around like confetti, okay? On all of your marketing documents, your resume, your signature, your marketing materials, your website, you sprinkle it around and you encourage people to go to your website. You encourage people, not your website, your LinkedIn profile. You encourage people to connect with you. You encourage your clients to connect with you. You encourage your clients to follow your company page once you build one. Okay? So this is how you do it. Under me, you'll see edit profile, and you just edit, and then you sprinkle it everywhere.
You can't do that from your app, can you? That's just like that.
It's better to do it on the desktop, yeah. There will be limitations on your phone. Yeah. There will be limitations on your phone for sure. Okay. So your LinkedIn story. Some things you can do on your phone and some things are probably better to do on your laptop or whatever. Okay. Like any great novel, a good LinkedIn profile grabs your attention and keeps you reading until the end. Okay, so we are going to build your story. So how many people have the blue background? Hashtag LinkedIn fam. We're all family now. Okay? Raise your hand. Yeah, I know. But it's okay. It's okay. We've all been there. It's okay to admit it. It feels good when you admit it and just let it out. Okay? So ditch the default. This is your prime real estate, your prime visual real estate. So if you have a business, or if you have a product, or if you have a logo, this is it. This is it. So I put on your sheets canva.com. I love Canva. I think everybody, yeah, Canva. I like it. Yeah. I love Canva. I love PicMonkey too. PicMonkey and Canva. And yeah. So But I like to kind of play around with it, so on my own LinkedIn profile, I created my own background photo. But again, your background photo can connect to something that you're good at, a skill you're good at, your specialty, your industry, your company, your product. You could put text on it. So if you have a website or a blog or anything like that, you should be putting that right up front, right on your background photo. This is your book cover, the book cover of you. We're all writers tonight. We all are authors tonight. I love it. Okay. So these are a couple of examples. Business, marketing. This is one of a company. And this is Johnny. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Johnny. And Johnny is my old student, okay? And Johnny has it together. Because Johnny has been on LinkedIn for quite a while. And Johnny works for RBC. And Johnny always puts a profile of him with clients or with workers, team workers. He always has a different photo. He changes it quite regularly, but he always has him in the photo. Your profile photo, if you look at your profile photo and you wouldn't hire you, that's all I can say. Right now, they even have photographers on the go. Like there's a van that goes around to take a photo of you if you need to. Okay, the headline branding statement. So this is what I refer to as being really important. A couple of other things that people like to use are like ninja and guru. Nobody's going to search guru. No, or they're not going to really search guru, or they're not going to really search ninja. So we want to use really, really strong words to make sure that they're going to be searched and that we're going to be found. And remember, this is the first part of the LinkedIn algorithm. So we have 120 characters, and what we want to do is we want to use functional words, but we also want to bring in some of our personality. And if you ever notice, you can use little icons, they call them emojicons on LinkedIn. You don't want to go too crazy with those emojicons, but if you do like emojicons, Bryn Tillman, who's a friend of mine, a fellow LinkedIn trainer, she has a really good list that you just have to cut and paste and you can find whatever you need. Okay, so let's take a look at some sample headlines. But monetizing your talents by defining and packaging your products and services. Increase your money, and then hashtag make money. Okay, so this is somebody using a tagline, but they're telling exactly what they're going to do. More customers, more revenue, more growth, Hall of Fame innovation keynote speaker, and business growth specialist. So keywords, but also trying to say what that person does. Business analyst, passion for optimizing processes to achieve efficiency and effectiveness. So the passion word is in there, but throughout that person's profile, the passion is only mentioned once in the branding statement. So they don't have too much passion, just a little bit. Okay? Aspiring consumer marketer with a passion. Oh, there's a passion too. See, it's popular. These are all real. For strategic communication, promotions, and campaign management. But these are all keywords: strategic, promotions, campaign, business. So it tells you a little bit about your personality. Okay, what marketer, digitally savvy, social media, passion for tech, creating winning marketing campaigns. And the last one, client partner at Niamo, helping companies align HR strategies with their business goals. SAP success factors. So you'll notice that none of them are the same. Some people like to use a tagline. Some people like to use a variety of functional words or skill-based words. Some people like to use some people like to say what their title is, but they complete the 120 characters by taking the first part and then continuing on with either a tagline or saying specifically what they do. This is where your niche becomes clear. This is where you become unique by starting out with your branding statement. Okay, so basically these are the 4 parts of the LinkedIn algorithm, starting with the branding statement. I mentioned them earlier. Branding statement, summary, skills, and experience. So your summary, 2,000 characters. Sometimes you will see the summary written in third person. Do you think that that is the correct way or first person? Yes. So if you see it in third person, it's just because that person may not have had any training, or they may have had somebody write it for them without knowing. But you can't own your space if you're talking in third person. You can't tell a story about yourself when you're talking about yourself in third person. It's really important to own your space, and this is one way to do it, by telling your story. So I'm just going to read this story, and it's an example. I have 2 up here. I'm not going to read both of them, but I'm going to read one. And this was one of the stories that got picked up by LinkedIn as one that they could use as an example to help other people to think about their story. So this one, so I'll read it, and then I'll kind of get your idea on it. So when I was 21, I climbed Mount Everest. Not metamorphically, I literally climbed the highest mountain on Earth. While I was hiking, I thought about quitting approximately 5,000 times. But despite the high winds, low altitude, mental and physical fatigue, and trail mix overdose, I kept going. I'm that person. Once I say I'll do something, it will happen. Now I put that perseverance to work as an account manager for. I don't have to climb any mountains, but I do have to move them. I'm well versed in negotiations, planning and development, relationship management, operations, and logistics coordination and scheduling. If you're interested in grabbing a coffee and talking shop, or to hear how I almost fell off the mountain at 27K feet, please send an email my way. Specialties: account management, sales, negotiations, business development, customer service, relationship management, logistics, and quality assurance. Okay, so what do you get from this? Why do you think it's, okay, how many people like it? Okay, so it's going to depend on your personality. This person who wrote this, it's exactly his personality. So what does it tell you about him? What is he trying to say without, without taking his resume and, just cutting and pasting his resume? What is he doing effectively by writing it this way? What do you get from this? What does it tell you about this guy? Popcorn method. He's going to keep trying. He's perseverant. He's going to get past it, whatever challenges come his way. What else does it tell you?
He's courageous. He doesn't mind climbing the mountain.
Risk taker,
Yeah.
Courageous, yes. Communicator, absolutely. What else?
He's humorous, and he's somebody that you might want to actually hang out with. So culture fit actually comes out.
Absolutely. He's really doing a good job because not everybody would want him. Okay? Not everybody. But the people that want him will want him because they connect with his personality. See, I connect with that personality because I like to have fun with LinkedIn. There was once I went and then they wanted me to be like stuck in a box, and I was like, it's not going to work because I just don't know that. I didn't even train like that. So I have to be a little crazy. Keeps me young. Okay, so I get this. So what he did well is he showed his personality. The other thing is that there's a call to action here. This is what we call a call to action. He's telling people basically, you reach out, I'll go for a coffee with you. He's an account manager, right? It fits totally with the kind of job he's in. But if you have a website, or you have a blog, or you have something, this is where you want to put it. You want to encourage people to follow your company page. You want to encourage people to go to your website. Maybe you have a freebie. Maybe you have a 20-minute discovery call. Okay, the experience section. As I said, it's kind of like the prairie cupcake. Oh, I think I said muffin, but anyway, cupcake. So what you want to do is for the experience section, which is the third part of the LinkedIn algorithm, you want to have, first of all, you want to optimize your title. So if, for example, my title at the university is, it used to be relationship manager, now it's career educator, but in my job description, I'm the LinkedIn trainer. But they don't put that on, well, I put it on my cards, but when it comes to describing or putting on any of my marketing materials, we have to keep it short and to the point. But therefore, when I come to do my title on LinkedIn, I make sure to optimize that title because it's part of my experience section. So if I have, so say I work in a particular area, but I work in a department, or I do a few different things, like I do logistics and I do event planning and I do a few other things, I would put my title, and I would also, inside that title, put some other keywords because it's searchable. And then in the body, I would start with a summary. I would upload any achievements up front, and then I would put in some roles and responsibilities. Maybe not the ones that are so intuitive, but the ones that I wouldn't expect to read about. LinkedIn is about discovery. So when I go on your LinkedIn profile, I really want to explore and I really want to discover. Okay, the last section is the skills section. So you have 50 skills. You don't want to use all your skills, especially if you're like me, continuously learning. Your top 3 skills are the most important. So always think about the 3 top skills that if I asked you, what would your colleague or friend say about you? That they can endorse you for it. That they can see that in you. Some people complain about endorsements because they say, oh, the people endorse me for the wrong thing. And I had the other day somebody say to me, my mother-in-law endorsed me for, I don't know, sustainability. And I said, did you say thank you? And he said, no. And I said, well, why not? And he said, because I didn't want her to endorse me for sustainability. But I said, do you think people are going on your profile and looking to see if your mother-in-law, endorsed you for sustainability? Say thank you and enjoy it. Think about numbers. So we talked about it a little bit earlier. Numbers are important. So if you have less than 50 numbers, 50 connections, you are floating around in LinkedIn La La Land. Okay, you don't even exist. Because you need a certain amount of connections to be a networker. And this is a networking site. And where do you want to go? What is your number 1 goal? To get to? What number? 500. But then you want to continue because you always want to be building your network. And that old saying about only connect with people that you know, throw that out the window. Because you know what? We will never extend or expand our network if we only stick to people that we know. It should be people we know or people we should know. So always open that up. When somebody wants to connect with me, I usually look at their branding statement. I looked at how many connections we have in common. So if we meet and I see that we have 80 connections in common, and I know that some people have not been trained like we are doing tonight, I can pretty much say that and somebody is connecting with me that like we have 80 people, and you want to connect with me that we have 80 people in common, and those are people that I respect, I can pretty much say, I can be pretty safe with adding that person to my community. Have an endorsement party. So I love having endorsement parties. I'm having one tomorrow at U of T. What I do with endorsement parties, and you could have one at, I'll just use you guys, at RBC. You could have one, you're always up to the good stuff. You can have an endorsement party where people get together. You're working in a common area. You're working with your colleagues, or you're part of an association, or even a group like this. And you start getting to know each other, and you start helping each other to understand what you have to offer and what you've done in your past. And then people can agree to come back and endorse you or endorse you on the spot. And I know that that sounds kind of like all contrived, but it's actually fun. And you have to remember that recommendations are different. Recommendations and testimonials are really with somebody who has worked with you a long time, and they want to back you. They know they've worked on a project with you. But a skill is just being able to say that somebody knows that skill. You need 99 in one skill area to be recognized as an expert in that skill. If we sit back and be continuously passive, we will never get 99. So I'm always asking people, because I used to be this person who never asked anything. Now I love it. I'm always asking people, you know, because we have to get into that idea, because that's the art of reciprocity, asking and give and take. And there's this book, by the way, called Give and Take by Adam Grant. And it really reflects a lot of what LinkedIn is for me, which is a tool about reciprocity, about giving. And then avoid the buzzwords and really take an 80-20% approach. 80% is really trying to establish your niche, your credibility, your branding. And then 20%, you're kind of working with also establishing some other things that you care about, things that are important to you. If you want to put a quote out there, you want to showcase your blog for Women Can Do Anything or whatever it is, do it. Because we don't live in a box, right? Okay, so skill endorsements. A little bit about building your professional online network. Connection requests, as I said, every time you send one, always write a note. Except if you're doing what I suggested and you first connect with somebody from Find Nearby because you're at a common conference, then you can do it a little bit in reverse. When you're on your phone, if you have an iPhone, you look for the 3 dots. So if you, say for example, you were going on my profile, you would go on my profile, you would find the 3 dots, you would click on the 3 dots, and it would say personalized request. And that's how you connect with me and write a message. If you're on another kind of phone, like just a smartphone or an Android, what you would do is you would find more, or you would find the downward arrow, click on that, and it'll take you to personalized request. And you actually have an additional characters if you do it on your phone as opposed to do it on your laptop. So in that case, it's a hack. So it's a good little hack to know. And if you go to, often this will come up, people you should know or people you may know, PYMK. If you click on the connect here, you will not have a chance to actually send a personalized request. So always go to that person's profile, and then you'll be able to send a connection request. Recommendations. So social recognition matters. We talked about that earlier. These are my tips about asking for a recommendation. So when you're asking for a recommendation, or a testimonial. If it's about your business, it will be a testimonial. If it's about a recommendation, it will be about you personally. Go to that. There's a big space that LinkedIn gives you to write and ask for a testimonial. If I were you, I would write that testimonial or that recommendation in full. I would almost write it for the person. And then I would ask them if you don't mind, if you don't mind, here's my recommendation. And if you'd like to edit it, please go ahead. But it's better to do that because then you can add the key words. And then your recommendation becomes an anchor link. So if you don't put in the key words, most people are just going to write something very general when you really want your recommendation to be an anchor link. The only way it can anchor is if it has some of the same skills that you've sprinkled throughout your story. Okay? Okay, now we're getting down to the last of the workshop. but living the LinkedIn experience. So again, in 2017, we were given the choice to kind of become more human on LinkedIn, because humans connect with humans. And what did that mean? That's how video came about. That's how people started to become storytellers on LinkedIn, because stories resonate with people more than just a simple profile. So being kind. So if anything, one of the keys to my success on LinkedIn is not even because I'm associated with LinkedIn, but because I'm a big believer in reciprocity. So I'm constantly doing things for the people that are in my network. I share, I comment, I ask questions, I use to mention people, I endorse people, I recommend, I thank people, I use video with other people. I like, but I don't fall in love with like, because like is also on the passive side. So it's a good starting off point, but it's really good because if you just like something, I still have no idea about your voice. I still have no idea about what you have to offer, and I still can't really make or take anything away from a like, right? It's just, I appreciate the like, but I would much rather if you commented or support it, or you can even disagree if you want. Just don't be negative, okay? You can disagree, but don't hang around with negative people and toxic people, not even on LinkedIn. Get rid of those people and don't be one of them. That's one of the good, the best things that I don't get involved with any of that, and that's why I can enjoy it. And write articles, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you have something on your website, if you're already doing a blog, you can simply take that blog and you'll notice there's an opportunity to write an article which is situated in LinkedIn Pulse. So you can write an article, or if you have the article, you can just transfer the article, cut and paste it, and simply mention where that article came from before. So you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. It's a good thing to have new content for LinkedIn, but it's also a good way to reuse content that you already have. So reciprocity is the art of giving value, and when we do that on LinkedIn, we get so much back in abundance. So LinkedIn company pages. How many people have a LinkedIn company page? Okay. How many people use their company page? It was a big reduction in hands. So the company pages have been continuously, are continuing to be revamped by LinkedIn to make them more user-friendly. But I'm going to tell you a few tips, and there's actually a resource here that I can send out, or you can take a look at it, but it tells you all the stuff that you need to know about a company page. It's one of my go-tos with my clients, and so it's something that you can take a look at too. But in order to be successful on your company page, you cannot simply build it and just, again, leave it there. A company page is when you want to speak and brand yourself from your company. So you can actually use your personal page, you can use your personal page to leverage your company page. So when you put something out on your company page and you're speaking to your target audience, you can actually also post it on your personal page, and then the two can come together. You should be working simultaneously with your personal page and your company page. That should be a simultaneous partnership. These are the benefits of having a company page. Everything from being a thought leader. So if you have a blog, or you are putting out content, or showcasing something, or you have an event, or this is a great way to showcase through your company page. And then use your personal profile to give it the extra boost that it needs. When you're asking somebody to connect, what you can do is, instead of saying right immediately, I want to sell this, which I got today about 3 times, so it was done, and I don't accept those people into my network. What they did was they came on, and automatically one had some kind of a tool that's going to help me to gain endorsements and people and all that. I said, I don't need that. You know, don't sell that to me. I don't like that. It's pushy. It's just like when you go into a store and those people are coming at you and they want to sell you the pink boots and you don't want them, right? So it's the same kind of thing. We have to realize that, you know, we have to know how to navigate that. So what can we do even if we want to showcase our business? We want to put things out there, but we don't want to be too salesy. So one of the ways is if we have a company page, anytime we connect with people, we can write, and then at the very end when we put our signature, we can say, please support and follow my company page. Most people will do it. They will do it when you're not pushing it at them, but yet you're doing it in a nice way. It helps you to stay ahead in the competition, helps you to spy on the competition. It helps you to promote your company news from your company page. So actually you're there and you're helping yourself brand your company page. But again, you have to be active and you have to dedicate a certain amount of time by putting things on that company page and making it active. So it will not grow organically until, just like your personal page, until it gets enough traction. And it's a work in progress. But again, everything is when we're trying to build our profile and we're trying to showcase our business. It takes a while, especially when we're entrepreneurs and we have a startup, or entrepreneurs and we have a business and we want to showcase that. It doesn't come it comes with a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, and that's why a lot of people complain, my company page does nothing for me. My company page, and then I'll say, well, how much did you work it? And the answer is usually nothing, or very little. They just put it up there, they use it for the logo, but unless you're engaging on your LinkedIn company page, then you're not going to be able to actually have it raise the bar for your own company branding, right? So this is a really great takeaway, this blog on LinkedIn for Business on Hootsuite. I can send it, but it's here if you want to write it down. This will tell you step by step what you need to build an effective company page. And it will also, if you want to take a picture of it, but it will help you step by step to building a company page. If you also do a search on Google with the top company pages, it will come up with the top company pages for small business. It'll come up with the top pages for larger corporations and companies that have a successful page, and how did they make it successful. These are the things that we want to know, because we have to compare ourselves to what's already been done if we want to really be successful with our own pages. So this is an excellent, excellent, excellent and up-to-date resource, and they're always continuously adding things in this resource, but it'll really answer all of your questions that you need to develop and to sustain a company page. And I think that's it. So LinkedIn is a big, complex tool. I can spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, and as you see, I'm very passionate about LinkedIn. But I can guarantee that it will never let you down, and putting the work into it will always reap the benefits after. It just requires some work along the way. So I hope you got a lot out of the presentation, and just remember, this is you online, and this is the most important story that you'll get to tell, the story of you.